You had a teacher at Neary Elementary School in Massachusetts. Now, they are in the public schools of Northborough and Southborough, which comprise of three, different towns, Northborough, Southborough, and North Southborough, kind of like put together. The majority of the students at these schools are the folks. And the black population in the schools is like 1, 2, and also 3%, which is nothing. Now, the one teacher at Neary Elementary, which had about 250 students that go to that particular elementary school, had a mock slave auction. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Superintendent. It says in part, the educator held an impromptu mock slave auction. The educator asked two children sitting in the front of the room who were of color to stand, and the educator and class discussed physical attributes, for example, teeth and strength. That was in January. The district says a second incident happened when the same teacher was reading to the class from a book. The superintendent said, in reading and discussing the text, the educator used the N-word. It was later brought to the district's attention that the N-word does not appear in the book.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that anti-black racism is part of their culture, that's what I mean. That teacher that's in that school did not grow up in a time where it was like slavery or anything like that, right? But they always referring back to slavery, using statements like, calling us cotton pickers and all kind of things like that, right? It's because you can't maintain that kind of hate unless it's cultural. And when I say cultural, I mean it's taught in the household to their children. Their children grow up, they teach that to their children. Those children grew up, they teach it to their children. It is a cultural thing. And until you realize it's cultural because they're teaching it, no one is born in the earth having hatred toward any group of people, and especially on something stupid like the color of somebody's skin. That is so stupid. And it's crazy that we still discussing that, how asinine that mindset is and how asinine that culture is. This is why I've always told black people, do not put your children in any town, school, even yourself, in those little enclaves where there's no black people. I've always told you safety reasons. We need to be in places where the black population is at minimum 10% or more. That is one of the best places to be because you got enough backup when you have at least 10% of the black population. Now, I heard a statement one time that said when parents move to a predominantly European American area, that's for them. That's not for their children. Even though they hear their children suffering, they'll still stay over there. I say at minimum, if you're not going to be in a area where it's all, the brothers and sisters, at least get a diverse area of people. And when I mean by diverse, I'm not saying diverse, but yet they think like the white supremacists. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a diverse area where people are moving and shaking. People ain't thinking about no stupidity like that. Of course, you're going to have some idiots everywhere you go, right? But when you go to certain areas and towns, people not, especially when you get in a city like Houston, Atlanta, of course, Atlanta's dominated with black people. Dallas, that has a good sized black population. You just not going to have that issue and problem because you're going to have some backup. And that's the key. Some of y'all look in the North, they always try to act like the South is so bad. But one thing Malcolm X said, anything south of Canada is the South. And you always better remember that. Because them folks are the same, no matter where they at on the earth. I've seen it with my own two eyes. They are the same. And that's why I understand where they're coming from. I get how they feel. I get it 100% how they feel about us as black Americans. I get it. I get it 2,000%. Because I understand the culture that they raise their kids and themselves under. That's why I get it.